Serial number was 3706-9417. I was drafted and inducted into active service 26th of August 1941 at Camp Robinson, Arkansas. Dispatched September the 17th, discharged September the 17th, 1945 at Jefferson Barracks, Missouri. I trained, qualified, and served as a motor sergeant, 155 howitzer gunner, light and heavy machine gunner, rifleman, pistol expert, demolition and high explosive, winter warfare, skiing, mountain climbing, and mountain warfare, airborne tactics and parachutist, sabotage specialist, hand-to-hand combat expert, waterborne stealth attack, and several other fields of modern, at that time, warfare. The following is a list of my travels and approximate dates. 25 August 1941, left Fort Smith by bus to Camp Robinson, Arkansas. Sworn in August the 26, 1941. After 3 days, shipped by train to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The second day after arrival was made acting corporal and acting motor sergeant and driver trainer. At that time, we were recruits and could not be promoted for 90 days, during which time we were paid $21 per month with $3.50 per month deducted for laundry, and was finally made sergeant May the 2nd, 1942. Left Fort Bragg December the 7th, 1942, destination unknown. As it turned out, it was at Fort William Henry Harrison, Montana. It's just outside Helena. Became member of the 1st Special Service Force. At this time, I will read you a report that appeared in Time magazine of the 1st Special Service Force, which probably will describe it better than I can. Then I will go on and tell you more about some of the training and things that we had at that time. The following is taken from Time magazine, September the 4th, 1944. The title is The Black Devils. 25 months ago, the War Department announced that a special U.S.-Canadian force of Super Commando was being formed. By last week, a lifted censorship on its doings revealed that the force had lived up to its promise of becoming one of the Army's elite, a tough, secret, widely trained outfit that had fought its way through some of the hottest spots in World War II. The Special Service Force was born during a visit by General George Catlett Marshall to Prime Minister Churchill at Chequers in 1942, and a glamorous career was laid out for it. It was to be used as a suicide raid on a hydroelectric plant in Norway. Later, its mission was changed to simultaneously paratroop raids in key power plants scattered through Europe. Another gleam in the planter's eye, a parachute raid on Berchtesgaden to kill Adolf Hitler. History, anyhow. The SSF did none of these errands, but it made history anyhow from the day of its 35-year-old commander, wiry, long-nosed Colonel Robert Frederick, began combining recruits from the 8,000 volunteers for extremely hazardous missions. Those he selected, some were U.S. regular Army men, a half Canadian, and the remainder U.S. citizen soldiers were picked for ruggedness, military skills, and calculated recklessness. The training of the FSSF never ended. Its troops learned all the commando tricks. They learned to march 57 miles in 24 hours with full packs. They became ski troops, qualified as parachuters, were whisked from Vermont to Florida to Montana to find the right ground for learning new skills. They were armed and clothed with U.S. equipment, drilled English style, saluted either flat-handed like the British or finger to the tip of the forehead, GI fashion. 2 of the 3 top commanders were men from the U.S. Most of the battalion leaders, Canadian. Most top sergeants were Canadian. Most junior officers from below the border. Troops from the 2 countries got along together despite the pay differential in favor of the U.S. soldier. Every enlisted man was a non-com except for a few private ratings kept handy for busting unruly members. The force wore its own branch insignia, crossed arrows, its shoulder patch, a vertical Canada, lettered on an arrow, topped by a horizontal USA. The dry run. The force's first mission was Kiska, where 2 regiments went ashore in rubber boats with instructions to use nothing but the ice-picked, shaped stilettos on the Japanese. There were no Japs there, but the force made the most of it, learned more about living and marching in the field, and refused to be tempted into trigger-happy firing. Last winter, the force turned up in Italy, along a road to Cassino. They captured peak after peak. Then they moved into Anzio beachhead. There, for 99 nights, they painted their faces black and roamed through the German positions. The diary of a dead German paid them their most cherished tribute. The black devils are all around us. Every time we come into the lines, and we never hear them come. The first worked hard and bloodily to maintain the legend, posted their division stickers on blouses of the Germans that they killed, and on the enemy equipment they disabled. Allied forces broke out from the beaches. The force spearheaded the attack. Robert Fredericks, wearing a bandage around his neck from a wound. After Rome, Forceman Fredericks became Major General at 37 and took the command for the invasion of southern France. Colonel Edwin A. Walker, 1 regimental commander, took over and led the outfit into its toughest fight yet. Its rubber boats on Levant Island, which guarded the approaches through the Cavalier Pass to the coast. Before the FSSF reached Rome, it had lost more than half the men who sailed from Kiska, including 2 regimental commanders and nearly all the battalion COs. At Levant, where the Germans fought bitterly for their camouflage hideouts, the casualties struck deep again. By then, because Canadian replacements were fewer, the outfit was more than 2/3 U.S., and many of its officers were ex-non-coms commissioned in the field. Forcemen were satisfied with the job the outfit had done. Beyond its combat deeds, the inspiration it had given other outfits could not be measured. But the fighting men had a word to explain the outfit's success. The word was guts.